Is he just connecting?
No, he's good.
Oh, okay. Okie dokie. Well, it is July 6th. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I know we weren't here for last Thursday's meeting, but I hope everybody got some good information on the video that we showed. It was called the top 10 reasons why every real estate agent fails in this business. So if you did not watch it, feel free to go back and watch that video. It's on the link that we sent last Thursday. It's pretty good information. And if you are succumb to any of those issues, rethink about it. Think about your plan. Think about your goals and where you want to be in this business. And so for today, that kind of moves us into today. We're going to be talking more about overcoming those objectives, right? So this whole business is a numbers game, right? We want to try and tell everybody we're real estate agents, whether they're buyers or sellers, and how do we get them to use us for our services, right? Either they have another agent or they just don't want to sell because now is not the right time, or, I want to buy in 2 years, or whatever the excuse that you get for them not wanting to pull the trigger, whether it's buying or selling. So I'm going to give you kind of four easy steps on kind of how to overcome those things, as well as some examples and a couple of scripts to kind of help with those things. So really the first step in overcoming any objection is listening to the objection. Why are they objecting? Why do they not want to use my services, or why do they not want to buy or sell at this moment, right? Fully understanding that, and don't let your emotions get in the way of things. Let me tell you why, right? Let me tell you why, and you just start jumping off and you start letting everything go, and why you need this. This is going to end up putting your buyer or your seller in a defensive position, right? You never want to put them in okay, I'm already set that I'm not going to do anything, because now they're coming at me with all this sales energy, and it's just going to end up going blocked off. So the best thing to do is understand them fully, and don't let your initial reaction step forward, right? You want to be calm, and you want to say, okay, well, let me know, what are your objections? Make it seem that you really are listening to what they have, your body language, your facial expressions, everything, and don't interrupt, right? What else? Why else? And keep asking those questions and make them feel comfortable to tell you those things, because if they immediately get into a defensive position, the deal's pretty much over unless something else happens, right? But you want to keep them calm. You want to keep them in a good position, and just really understand them. Hey, what's going on, right? I need to sell my house before I do this, but I have to pay off this and blah blah, and just really get them talking. Really is what it is. Get them talking. Get them to tell you what they need done. So that way you have a game plan. You know exactly what you need to do and how to structure your next sales pitch for them, right? Instead of just, this is what I'm going to tell you because I've done it before and blah, blah, blah. Everybody's scenario is different. So really get to know that person, get to know their objections, get to know what their problems are, so that we can be those problem solvers. Second thing is understand the objection completely. So it's first, what is the objection? And then secondly, understand it. Ask them and repeat that objection. Hey, okay, so in my understanding, we need to do this, this, and this. And they go, no, wait, well, with this, but we also need to do this. So when you relay and make it seem that you're really taking that care and reiterating what they want done, they're going to go, wait, well, no, there's more. And they're going to tell you more of those objections and what else is there to be done. So now you have even more information to help them and persuade them, in a sense, to go down and sell or buy. Is really just understanding it truly and making them know that you've understood it. Is repeating it, right? Repeating, so they understand. And then once there's a hole in your objection, they're going to go, wait, no, I needed this. And then they're going to guide you and make it easier. They're going to open themselves up to that conversation of what they need and how you can best help them. And then the third, so number 3 is, after you are confident and you've uncovered all of their objections, address the most important one first, right? So I want to buy a house, but I have to sell my house first. Okay, well, that's the first objective, right? The biggest and first thing we have to do is we have to sell your home. We have to get it done. So therefore, let's focus on the strategy we're going to do to get that objective done. So rank those objectives in priority with each other. So after you've really uncovered them, you've talked to them, you figured out what they need, what is the biggest objective that they need done now, and then put those in a priority, right? The smaller ones, we can put those on a back burner, but those main front priorities that we had uncovered in the very beginning, after 30, 40 minutes of just letting them talk and understanding them more, um, will allow you guys to better transition your sales pitches or your talking points and whatnot. So you should always have good resolve right away. The more you can resolve the issues in real time, the greater the chance that you're going to have moving forward in the sale. If you need more information to resolve a specific concern, you may have to look for something, or don't wing it, right? Just don't say, oh, I know, and we're going to do it this way. If you don't know an answer, let them know, hey, I don't know that for you. Give me some time. I'll call my broker and I'll find that out for you. Nobody likes the know-it-all, or the person that has this long run-on sentence of something that didn't even make sense to what they were talking about in the first place. So really find out what that main priority objective is, and then let's handle that first, and then we can move on from there. And then last thing is confirm you've satisfied the objective, right? Okay, well, if I do this, will that satisfy you? Or if you do that, will that kind of resolve your issue? So let's try and make that a core thing. And once you've able to confirm that you've satisfied it, then they're going to be a lot more willing to go ahead and make that sale. If we do this and this, or if we sell your house for this price, does that satisfy everything for you? And then can we move forward today? Does that make your objective complete? Does this house check all the boxes? If this house checked this, and this, do you think we can make an offer? Kind of moving on from there, and just really understanding and letting them know. So therefore, they're never like, oh yeah, okay, fine. And then we go into it and they're like, well, you kind of just pushed me into it, right? You want to make sure that is their interest, that's what they want to do, and just confirm it. Hey, if we do this, and this, or it checks this box, and this box, are we ready to make an offer? Are we wanting to move forward? Can I sell you? Can we put your house on the market? If we get this price and we're able to pay these things off, are we good to go? All right, just confirming those things that really you've kind of let them tell you, in a sense. And then, so go ahead.
Oh, it's really just about clear understanding your client and clear communication. Really. Yeah,
very much so.
Those are the two main components of that.
Yeah, very much so. Just really understanding what they need, what they want, because we're problem solvers, guys. And the very essence of things, we're here to solve their problems. Whether it's I'm looking to buy a home or I'm looking to sell my home. The other factors in between is how are we going to do it. But by the end of the day, if you have the problem and you know exactly what they need, so any listing appointment or any buyer's appointment that you go to, the first thing, and you should always keep in mind, is what is the goal? What is your goal buyer? What is your goal seller? And how can we help you achieve that goal? Because every time we go into a listing appointment, we know they want to sell their house. Why else would we be in their house? But underlying that house sale, there's something else in the background that they need. They need to buy another house because their kids are leaving and they're downsizing, or they're having kids and they need to upsize, or they're going through a divorce, or they're going through a hard financial time, or whatever the case may be. There's an underlying issue there that's more important than the house sale. So if you're going into that house, oh, that's it, I know what I'm doing, because they want to list their house and that's it. And you take no time to really understand why they're doing the things they're doing. They're just going to see you as a salesperson and not as a good human being, or as a friend, or as a referral partner, right? We're doing this because we want referrals. And the way you get more referrals is by genuinely caring for people, right? And so the more they can see that you care for them and you want to see their goals be met and you want to really just take good care of them, they're going to want to work with you. Even if the house doesn't sell right away, they understand you have the best interest at heart and not just here for the sale, right? So keep that in mind whenever you're with a seller or a buyer. Just be courteous and loving and, and just a good person. Understanding, and for lack of better words, right? So, because people can see that. And so for a good kind of scenario, one is, of course, we all see it. I don't think I need your services. My friend or relative is an agent, right? We always have somebody that, somebody knows somebody in the business. And typically it's my friend or my cousin or a family member. And a good thing to look at, and I kind of read this recently, But a good way to kind of combat that and say, well, oh wow, okay, so he has a friend or a brother or somebody, so there's no way they're going to want to use me, a third party person that, I just met this person and they have a best friend or a relative that wants to help them. So how can I combat with that? So a good way to think about that is, so this is the script. So the person tells you, oh, I have my brother's an agent, or my best friend's an agent, so I don't need your services. And this is your response. Oh, that's great to hear. Are you comfortable with sharing all your personal information with your friend or your brother? As you know, in the home buying and selling process, all your financial data is in front and center. I know I wouldn't want my friend to know how much money I make and know about all my financials. So that's something people really don't think about when selling their home. You know your client's financials. You know how much they make. You know what they qualify for, what they don't qualify for. And so a lot of the times we don't want our close friends or our family or people knowing those things about us, right? We're kind of secretive people in that manner. We don't want everybody knowing how much money I make or how much money I don't make. So if that is an objection to somebody saying, hey, no, I have a friend or I have a relative that's going to sell my house for me, that's a pretty good thing to know, right? Working with friends and family sometimes isn't the best, and sometimes you don't want to tell your friends and family everything. So if you see that happening, just let them know, hey, just to let you know, your friends or your family are going to see all of your information. They're going to see how much money you make or you don't make. So if that's something that you're okay with, then I wish you the best. But if it's not, I would love to help you, and everything I do is confidential, and me, Joe Schmo, I'm a third party person, so that your financials really don't mean anything to me, right? I'm not your friends, I'm not your family, and you don't have to be in a facade, or you don't have to be somebody else around me in that sense. Hope that makes sense. Another one is, it's okay, I'm renting a nice place right now, right? We always have those renters that we try to convert to buyers, but people just don't want to buy. And a good thing is, why pay somebody else's mortgage, right? When you can pay your own and invest in yourself. And more than likely, you can get a bigger house for a less payment, because rental payments right now are very similar to a mortgage if they went and just got qualified. So that's one of the easier ones, is that you find renters and, hey, well, why not? Let's just go see if you qualify. If we can get you with a lower rent payment, and you get to own something and invest in it yourself, I just see it as a win-win-win, right? So move on forward and let's contact our local lender. And then, so another one is, I hear this one all the time, is I'm thinking about buying in a couple years. And I hear it all the time from people and some friends, and they're just, now's not a good time. I'm going to buy in a couple years. And so really it's just asking the question, just out of curiosity, what's the significance of 2 years from now? Do you have a goal? Are you planning on being married by then and then getting a house? What is the significance of 2 years? Because in 2 years, houses are going to go up 6%. Because in this typical economy, every year the house increases by 3% nationally. And so in 2 years, what you could buy today may not be what you could buy in 2 years. So it would be advisable and wise to let's get you and see how we can get you pre-qualified and probably save you thousands of dollars. And would that interest you? Something like that, right? Why asking those questions again, finding out what that objection is. Why in 2 years? Don't just say, oh, okay, fine. In 2 years, I'll call you in 2 years. Why in 2 years, right? Why do you want to wait 2 years? What's going on with that? And let's get down to the issue. Another one, this is my first time buying and I'm a little nervous, right? And that's perfect person to be in, right? Why be nervous? I have your back. I'll be your real estate coach. I have all the tools and resources to help you find your first home. Houses are the best investment you could make in totality, right? People build long-term wealth with their homes. You buy it, you hold on to it, and within 4 or 5 years, you've probably made $20,000-$30,000 worth of equity. You hold it longer, depending on what area you're in, you could see even higher gains. But for somebody to be afraid of real estate and to be scared, it's just more information. The more you can educate them, the more you can have them talk with the lender, talk with title, talk with you as the professional, the more they're going to be comfortable and the more it's going to make sense to them to purchase. And yeah. So, and then next one, my credit is bad. Of course, let's just get them into some credit repair. Not a huge leader. Uh, okay. And then the last one is really.
Well, I just want to say, whether you overcome objections if you're trying to gain a client, but it's also a really important thing to do while you're in a transaction as well. Let's say you're the listing agent and they're like, you've had a lot of showings on the house and like no one's put in an offer. At that point, I would call the listing agent and be like, hey, how was the showing? Yada, yada, yada. Does your client have any objections about the house? Because more often than not, there was a time where that happened to me. And once I started asking, hey, does your client have any objections? Then they were like, oh yeah, actually, like they really didn't like that there wasn't a garage. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can ask my client to install a carport. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, that might work. And then we got it under contract. But I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't asked, what objections does your client have about the house? So it works really well when you're in when you actually have a listing and you're asking the other party if they have any objections.
No, that's a very good point. This really pertains to inspections or showings or your listings. Find out what those issues are. This is why feedback is pretty crucial, right, guys? We want to find out those objections, because if somebody said in the feedback that, there wasn't X, there wasn't an extra cabinet, or there wasn't an extra bathroom, or just wasn't something that may be curable that we could get done to get that house sold, let's get it done, right? The more information we have from everybody on both sides, the more power we have to closing deals. And that's the main thing. And then secondly is get everything in writing. That was another point I wanted to touch base with today, was get everything in writing, guys. Whether it's on a document, on an amendment, on the contract, in an email. If you ever have a phone conversation with an agent, just have that phone conversation, but immediately after send up a follow-up email. Hey, this is just to confirm that you said this and I said this and we agreed upon this. And then make sure they respond back with a yes or a no or a clarification, because the worst thing that happens is we have a conversation. Oh, you're going to get that done. Okay, sounds great. We're on the move of things. Okay, thank you so much. Bye. And then come to closing day, it's like, oh, well, you said you guys were going to clean that out, or you guys were going to do this, but nobody got it in writing, and now the remembrance is fuzzy and we don't know who's on first. And then now that you've told your buyers that, yeah, we got that thing done, or the sellers, yeah, they agreed to that, now you're having to go back to them and tell them, you know what, no, we didn't, because I didn't put it in writing, or there's no evidence that we ever had that conversation. So
I know we have good faith in people, that everyone's just a really good person, but in real estate, there are some really slimy people that will take advantage of you. So it's always just good to get everything in writing.
Get everything in writing, because it happens more than not, because there's seasoned agents out there that understand that very well. And they will say and talk all they want about doing things, but they know if it's not in writing or anything, they're not going to do it, because it's not enforceable by law. Text messages and emails are enforceable. So if you have anything that says agreed to, done, blah, 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 on a text message or an email, those are valid writing instruments. So keep that in mind whenever looking over those things. And that's pretty much the majority of what I had. Does anybody have any questions from over the weekend, or from any contracts you're in now, or just kind of any updates you guys need? Anything at all?
I'm going to be talking to the Wheatson a little bit about those repairs. I read your email. I should just go over them with them. I'm thinking any safety issues are priority to get fixed.
Yeah, I would say safety issues, but on your list, I really didn't see much safety issues. They were asking for some cracks and for a couple windows to be replaced that were fogged. Nothing in there really seemed like detriment to the building or to anybody's safety.
Yeah, like if it's going to affect the lending or the appraisal, we should
probably do that, but we wouldn't know that if it's going to affect it until appraisal happens, right? So the windows aren't going to be an issue.
Right.
Really nothing on there I saw was going to be an issue, except for maybe the water heater, but if they're going conventional, then nothing that was on that was gonna
Okay, that's
pertain.
what I thought, but they got an appraisal, the Wheatstone, in March.
Uh-huh.
So all of that was, except for the septic and the water heater, all of that was seen by the appraisal, so that's not going to really affect the appraisal.
Yeah, and it shouldn't, but but the one you did was for the owner occupant appraisal. So when they do it for a lending appraisal, they do go off of different guidelines.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, they will go off different, because now they're trying to, because the lender has this bucket of criteria they need to fill. Whereas if you just get an independent third party for the seller, those buckets go away. They're just trying to find the value of the home. They're not trying to secure the lender's requirements to then facilitate the loan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Is that why when they did a home occupant appraisal, they gave them a range?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So very good question, actually.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if y'all have checked my email or not. I sent out last night, but we are going to postpone the agent mixer that was scheduled for this coming Friday, just because we've known some people personally who have had COVID or have just been like diagnosed with it in the last couple of days, and it just seems like more and more people are getting it, and so we just want to not take that risk at all. You know, we'll continue having our meetings and whatnot, but we'll postpone it probably until August, or, you know, who knows, but we just wanted to, we'd feel horrible if something happened after our gathering, so just don't want to take that risk at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We really wanted to see you guys and do it and everything, but I don't know, just the way things are right now. Everybody keeps calling and saying more and more cases keep happening, but we just want to be on the forefront. I mean, we're not too worried about it in a sense personally, but we just would hate for anything to happen to our agents. I know we had Mr. James, who's on here now. He had his whole quarantine thing go on, and so we just don't want to maybe infect anybody else, and really try and keep it minimal on everybody. Not to say that it was one person in particular, but just the way things are right now, there's really a lot of unknowns. So I don't know. I don't know anymore at this point. But other than that, guys, I really appreciate you guys hopping on Monday. We will see you guys again on Thursday. If y'all don't have any other questions, then I wish y'all the best, and I will check in with y'all a little bit later.
Business cards, we pick them up at the company.
I
No,
sent
Sharon, I'll text you.
a check in for deposit to you.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
30,000.
Have a great one. Bye.